Have you ever felt like your time and energy are constantly being pulled in a million different directions? If so, raise your hand high. Or have you ever felt like you're always on call, always in demand, and always overwhelmed? Keep them up, I see you. Are your boundaries being respected? Discover the secret to saying no without guilt. Stay tuned to learn how mastering the art of setting boundaries can transform your life. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. I'm Scott, and today we're diving into a topic that's incredibly important but often overlooked: setting boundaries. So, why do boundaries matter? Well, without them, we can easily find ourselves overwhelmed, stressed, and even resentful. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and taking care of our own well-being. They help us define what's acceptable and what's not in our interactions with others. In today's video, you'll learn 5 powerful ways to master the art of setting boundaries. Whether you're struggling to say no to your boss, finding it hard to communicate your needs in a relationship, or just feeling like you're constantly being taken advantage of, this video is for you. By the end, you'll have practical tips and strategies to help you set boundaries confidently and without guilt. So grab a notebook and pen because you're going to want to take notes on this one. Let's get started. Setting boundaries is crucial for your mental and emotional well-being, don't you think? It's about asserting your needs, protecting your time, and fostering healthier relationships. Hit that subscribe button before we jump in, unless you already have perfect boundaries and don't need any tips, right? But seriously, subscribing helps us bring more of these insights to you, and who doesn't need a little boundary setting in their life? Let's get to it. Setting boundaries is an essential skill that has gained increasing recognition in recent years as individuals strive to maintain their well-being in this fast-paced and interconnected world, right? Now, historically, the concept of boundaries can be traced back to psychological theories and interpersonal dynamics, highlighting the importance of defining limits to protect one's mental and emotional health. Now, in today's society, the challenges of setting boundaries are common. Many individuals find themselves constantly bombarded with demands from work, family, and social obligations, leading to feelings of overwhelm and, for sure, burnout. The fear of disappointing others or being seen as selfish often blocks people from asserting their needs and setting clear boundaries. However, mastering the art of setting boundaries presents a valuable opportunity for personal growth and empowerment. By establishing healthy boundaries, individuals can develop stronger self-esteem, improve relationships, and create a sense of balance in their lives. We will talk about ways of setting boundaries and reclaiming your space. Here are the key points. Number 1, identify your limits. Start by recognizing your own needs and limitations. Understand what drains your energy and causes stress so you can pinpoint where boundaries are needed. Number 2, communicate clearly. Be assertive, yet respectful when expressing your boundaries to others. Use I statements to convey your needs without blaming or accusing. Don't worry, we are going to get more into each one of these in a minute. Number 3, practice self-care. Setting boundaries is an act of self-care. Prioritize your well-being by saying no to activities or people that deplete your energy. Number 4, set consequences. Clearly define consequences for boundary violations. Consistency is key in reinforcing your boundaries and showing others that you mean what you say. And number 5, seek support. Surround yourself with individuals who respect your boundaries and offer encouragement. Having a support system can help you stay firm in upholding your limits. Remember, setting boundaries is not about being selfish. Heck no. It's about valuing yourself and creating a healthy balance in your relationships and daily life. By mastering the art of setting boundaries, you empower yourself to live authentically and protect your mental and emotional well-being. Setting boundaries is a complex skill that requires introspection and assertiveness. I know I don't like being assertive either, but while some may view boundaries as rigid barriers that isolate them from others, they serve as bridges that support healthier relationships and self-respect. Research suggests that individuals who set clear boundaries experience lower levels of stress and higher levels of satisfaction in their interactions. However, controlling boundaries can be challenging in a society that often glorifies busyness and constant availability. The fear of disappointing others or being perceived as selfish can interfere with individuals from asserting their needs. Yet setting boundaries is an act of self-compassion and empowerment, allowing individuals to prioritize their well-being without guilt. What are your thoughts on setting boundaries? Have you encountered resistance when establishing limits with others? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below if you would. By implementing the 5 key strategies we are talking about today can create a healthier balance in your relationships and daily life. Remember to identify your limits, communicate assertively, prioritize self-care, set consequences for boundary violations, and seek support from those who respect your boundaries. Setting boundaries is not about building walls, it's about establishing healthy boundaries that allow you to thrive and maintain your authenticity. Take the first step towards reclaiming your space and protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Let's get into the first topic of understanding your limits. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt uncomfortable, drained, or resentful because you allowed someone to overstep your boundaries? It's a common experience that many of us can relate to. It's about the importance of recognizing and respecting your physical, emotional, and mental limits. By tuning into cues like feeling drained, anxious, or uncomfortable, you can start to set healthier boundaries for yourself. Understanding your limits is not only essential for your well-being, but also for maintaining healthy relationships and nurturing self-respect. So, we dive into how to identify and honor your boundaries, ultimately empowering you to lead a more balanced and fulfilling life, and to gain valuable insights on self-awareness and boundary setting. Let's get into these key points on understanding your limits one by one. First up is, reflecting on past experiences is a crucial step in understanding your personal limits. Often, moments of discomfort or resentment signal that our boundaries have been crossed. By taking the time to recall specific instances where you felt these emotions, you can identify patterns and pinpoint the specific circumstances or behaviors that trigger negative feelings. This self-reflection not only helps clarify your boundaries, but also empowers you to articulate them more effectively in the future. Recognizing these signs early can prevent potential conflicts and emotional exhaustion, enabling you to maintain healthier relationships and a better sense of well-being. Next is, recognizing your physical limits is essential for maintaining overall health and preventing burnout. We've talked about burnout in another video, which I linked in the description below. It's important to stay attuned to your body's signals, such as feelings of fatigue, drainage, or physical discomfort. These symptoms can indicate that you are pushing yourself too hard or that specific activities are taking a toll on your physical well-being. By acknowledging these signs, you can take proactive steps to adjust your workload, incorporate rest, or modify how you engage in certain tasks. This mindfulness towards your physical state helps ensure that you don't overextend yourself, allowing for sustained energy levels and a healthier lifestyle over the long term. Next up is understanding your emotional limits is just as crucial as recognizing physical ones, especially for maintaining mental health and emotional well-being. When you start to feel anxious, irritable, or overwhelmed, these are clear signals from your emotional self that you are nearing or have exceeded your limits. Such feelings often arise when we take on too much, face continuous stress, or neglect our needs for downtime and emotional care. By tuning into these cues, you can better manage your emotional load, ensuring that you do not push yourself into a state of emotional exhaustion. Recognizing these limits allows you to set necessary boundaries in relationships and commitments, helping to maintain a balanced and healthy emotional state. And here is the last key point in understanding our limits. Identifying your mental limits is key to sustaining your cognitive health and preventing mental burnout. Signs such as mental exhaustion, difficulty concentrating, or persistent negative thoughts indicate that you might be pushing your mental capacities too far. These symptoms often emerge from prolonged periods of intense cognitive activity without adequate breaks, or from continuously dealing with high-stress situations. Recognizing these limits allows you to implement necessary changes, such as taking regular mental breaks, prioritizing tasks more effectively, or seeking professional help if needed. By acknowledging and respecting your mental boundaries, you can maintain better focus, increase productivity, and foster a healthier mental environment. We just reached the halfway point. If you haven't yet run off to tell someone no, or to stop borrowing your stuff without asking, why not drop a comment about your boundary-setting triumphs or troubles? We all could use a bit of real talk. Plus, your experiences might just give someone else the push they need. Next up on the list is the crucial topic of communicating your boundaries clearly. Setting boundaries is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your well-being. However, many struggle to express their limits effectively, often resorting to vague language that can lead to misunderstandings. In this section, we'll talk about the importance of formulating direct statements about what you are and aren't comfortable with. We'll provide practical advice on how to avoid ambiguity and assert your boundaries confidently. Remember, the key lies in being clear, firm, and respectful when communicating your needs. By the end of this topic, you'll have the tools to craft assertive boundary-setting scripts and understand the significance of tone and timing in these conversations. Let's empower you to communicate your boundaries effectively. Setting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of healthy communication, but it hasn't always been easy for people to assert their limits. Throughout history, societal norms and expectations often discouraged individuals from expressing their needs clearly, leading to blurred lines and misunderstandings in relationships. Today, the challenges of communicating boundaries persist, with many still struggling to formulate direct statements about what they are and aren't comfortable with. Vague language can hinder effective communication and leave individuals feeling unheard or disrespected. However, by learning to overcome these obstacles, you can cultivate stronger, more respectful relationships. By using clear, assertive language and setting boundaries with confidence, you can create a more harmonious and fulfilling social environment. Let's explore some practical strategies and example scripts to help you navigate the complexities of boundary setting with grace and clarity. Here are 3 key points. Number 1, be clear and direct. When setting boundaries, avoid vague language and clearly state what you are and aren't comfortable with. Number 2, use assertive language. Assert your needs confidently without apologizing or justifying your boundaries. And number 3, consider tone and timing. Choose the right moment to communicate your boundaries and maintain a respectful tone throughout the conversation. Here's a sample of what we are talking about. Hey, I wanted to talk about something important. I feel uncomfortable when you make jokes about my appearance. It's important to me that we respect each other's feelings. So I'd appreciate it if you could refrain from making those comments in the future. You get it, right? I'm sure there are other ways, but you get the picture. Remember, setting boundaries is about advocating for yourself while also respecting others. By using clear, direct language and being mindful of your tone and timing, you can effectively communicate your boundaries and nurture healthier relationships. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining healthy relationships and self-respect. However, it's common to face pushback or resistance from others when we establish these boundaries. In this section, we are talking about strategies for dealing with pushback calmly and assertively. We'll explore how to stay firm in your boundaries while also respecting the feelings of others. You can reinforce your self-worth and communicate your needs effectively by using supportive affirmations and maintaining a confident demeanor. Learning how to navigate pushback can help you build stronger relationships and cultivate a greater sense of self-confidence. So, if you've ever struggled with standing your ground or handling negative responses when setting boundaries, this video is for you. Back in ancient times, setting boundaries was crucial for survival. Tribes would establish clear boundaries to protect their resources and ensure their safety. Fast forward to today, and the concept of boundaries remains just as important, albeit in a different context. When we set boundaries in our personal or professional lives, we may encounter pushback from others who are not used to respecting these limits. This pushback can manifest as resistance, criticism, or even attempts to manipulate or guilt-trip us into relenting. It's essential to navigate these challenges with grace and confidence. By remaining assertive and using supportive affirmations to reinforce our self-worth, we can effectively handle pushback while maintaining our boundaries. In this section, we'll explore practical strategies for dealing with pushback and staying true to ourselves. Here are the 3 top key points to remember. 1. Expect pushback. When setting boundaries, it's common to face resistance or negative responses from others who may not be accustomed to these limits. Anticipating pushback can help you prepare emotionally and mentally for these challenges. Number 2, stay assertive. It's essential to remain firm and assertive when communicating your boundaries. Use clear and direct language to express your needs and expectations without apologizing or wavering. Lastly, number 3. Self-worth affirmations. Utilize supportive affirmations to reinforce your self-worth and confidence. Remind yourself that your boundaries are valid and necessary for your well-being. When facing pushback after setting boundaries, it's crucial to consider different perspectives to navigate these challenges effectively. While it's important to stay firm in your boundaries, it's also valuable to understand where the pushback is coming from. Is it rooted in a lack of understanding, fear of change, or a genuine disagreement? By approaching pushback with empathy and open-mindedness, you can encourage constructive dialogue and potentially find common ground. Next up is the essential topic of self-care and the importance of setting boundaries. Boundaries are like personal guardrails that protect our well-being and prevent burnout. It's crucial to recognize when we're feeling overwhelmed and learn to say no to additional responsibilities. By respecting our own limits, we can maintain a healthy balance in our lives. In the fast-paced world we live in today, the concept of self-care has become increasingly vital. Setting and maintaining boundaries is a cornerstone of self-care, safeguarding our mental and emotional well-being. But it hasn't always been this way. Historically, self-care was often seen as a luxury reserved for the privileged few. However, as awareness around mental health and burnout has grown, the importance of boundaries and self-care has come to the forefront. Despite its significance, many of us face challenges when it comes to setting boundaries. Whether it's the fear of disappointing others or the pressure to constantly say yes, these obstacles can restrict our self-care journey. However, by practicing simple yet powerful self-care techniques, like learning to say no when overwhelmed, we can reinforce the importance of respecting our own boundaries and prioritize our well-being. Let's get into the top 3 key points. Number 1. Setting boundaries is essential for self-care as it protects our mental and emotional well-being. Just like a fence around a garden keeps out unwanted intruders, boundaries safeguard our personal space and energy. Number 2. Saying no when overwhelmed is a powerful self-care practice that reinforces the importance of respecting our own limits. It's like giving yourself permission to prioritize your needs and avoid burnout. And 3. Boundaries can manifest in various aspects of our lives, from work to relationships. For example, setting boundaries with colleagues by clearly communicating your availability can prevent work-related stress. When it comes to self-care, setting and maintaining boundaries is often emphasized as a crucial practice for protecting our well-being. However, some may argue that being too rigid with boundaries can lead to isolation or missed opportunities for growth. How do we strike a balance between self-preservation and openness to new experiences? I encourage you to reflect on how you can incorporate these simple self-care practices into your daily routine. Take a moment to assess your boundaries in different areas of your life and consider where adjustments may be needed. Are you starting to see how these strategies can make a difference? If you've ever successfully set a boundary, or if you're struggling with one right now, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story. Sharing helps us all grow, and your insight could be the encouragement someone else needs today. Next on our list is reinforcing boundaries. They are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting our well-being. However, setting boundaries is just the first step. It's equally important to regularly review and adjust them as needed. This ensures that our boundaries remain effective and relevant in different situations or as our circumstances change. In this section, we'll discuss why ongoing reinforcement of boundaries is necessary and offer practical tips on how to do it. Boundaries have been a fundamental aspect of human interaction throughout history, shaping how individuals navigate relationships and societal norms. However, enforcing boundaries can be challenging in a world where constant change and evolving dynamics are the norm. The need for ongoing reinforcement of boundaries is crucial to ensure they are respected and honored by others. One common obstacle is the fear of conflict or rejection when asserting boundaries, leading many to compromise their own needs. Now let's talk about the top 5 key points here. 1. Ongoing reinforcement. Boundaries need consistent reinforcement to ensure they are respected and upheld in various situations. Number 2. Regular review. It's essential to periodically review and adjust boundaries as personal circumstances or relationships evolve. 3. Effective communication. Clearly communicate your boundaries to others, setting clear expectations and fostering mutual understanding. Number 4. Self-awareness. Understand your own needs and limits to establish boundaries that prioritize your well-being and values. And number 5. Flexibility. Be open to adjusting boundaries as needed to accommodate changing dynamics while maintaining your core values. By regularly reinforcing and adjusting boundaries, you can create healthier relationships, protect your well-being, and cultivate a sense of empowerment in your interactions. Remember, boundaries are not set in stone. They are meant to be flexible and responsive to your evolving needs and circumstances. There you have it. Setting boundaries is a powerful tool for personal empowerment and well-being. By understanding and implementing the 5 key strategies discussed, you can create a life that honors your needs and values. Remember, setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an essential act of self-respect that allows you to thrive emotionally and mentally. Clear communication, consistency, and self-care are the pillars of healthy boundary setting. Embrace the opportunity to prioritize your well-being and cultivate relationships based on mutual respect. I encourage you to reflect on your own boundaries and take proactive steps to establish and maintain them in your daily interactions. Your mental health and happiness are worth protecting. If you found this information valuable, consider subscribing to our channel for more insightful content on personal growth and empowerment. Like, share, and continue your journey towards a more fulfilling life. Thank you for watching. See you next time.